an introvert gets feedback like, your presentation wasn't engaging enough. They spend the next week analyzing every single slide, their tone and gesture, vowing to never, ever, ever use a pie chart again. Welcome back to my channel. Today, I continue to shine light on the unique ways introverts thrive in work, family, education, social relationships, and mental well being. Today, we're diving into some eye opening research and relatable examples that showcase why introverts are built differently and brilliantly, if I should say so myself. From preferring remote work setups to quietly navigating family dynamics, handling criticism, and even avoiding classroom anxiety, we introverts bring our own style of thriving to the table. If you've ever felt misunderstood in these areas, I got your back. Let's jump right into it. Number one, in the workplace, remote work. Introverts and remote work are like peanut butter and jelly made for each other. A study by Buffer found that 91% of remote workers, including many introverts, are happier and more productive working from home. I mean, duh. A Gallup poll also revealed that 70% of introverts prefer remote work or hybrid setups, which is me. I do 3 at home, 2 in the office, which let them recharge and work at their own pace. The reality is, remote work allows introverts to skip the daily challenge of small talk, elevator talk, noisy office, and endless meetings. It creates a space for deep, focused work, our sweet spot. So, for example, picture an introvert logging into their morning meeting with the camera off, of course. They've already handled the agenda because guess what? Remote work lets them focus without interruptions. I mean, sometimes I am carousing when I'm home. Meanwhile, their extroverted coworker is trying to organize a virtual happy hour. A hard pass for me, thanks. I used to have a list of excuses as to why I couldn't attend their happy hour. I mean, I used to go as far as to say, but I don't drink. And they're like, but they have water there. Anyway, adversely, think about an introvert's commute in remote work. For most, it's tea in PJs at their desks. No crowded trains or awkward elevator chats. Just peace, quiet, and serenity, and productivity on their own terms. For me, I love to get up early, get out for a walk or a run to get my day started, and I get back in time to turn my computer on to start the day. I mean, talk about bliss. Introverts loved the lockdown. Some of us wish it would have been on forever and ever and ever and ever. The return was not embraced, but duty called in, so therefore we had to. But trust and believe, I would love for it to come back. How about you? How do you feel about remote work? Um, when I have to admit that when we were first told that we had to return to the office, I was one of the no, I don't want to go. And I mean, eventually we had to, and I chose to take an early train just so that I can avoid the crowdedness going into the office and coming home, because at that time we really didn't know what to expect. Being in the office, I actually love Mondays because it's quiet, and so it's kind of like working. It's kind of like working at home, except not really, because there's really not a lot of people, so not a lot of opportunities to be interrupted or to be trapped into small talk, which I don't do. Do not. But I've grown accustomed. I've grown accustomed to this routine. I'm grateful that I only have to be in the office 3 days a week. Not sure what I'd be like if it turns to 5. Yeah. But yeah, let me know. Let me know how you feel about remote work, whether or not you have to go in at all, or if you're a hybrid, and whether or not you decided to just jump ship because you were not feeling being back in the office. Let me know below in the comments. Number two, in families, family dynamics. Introverts in family settings prioritize deep connections over large gatherings. A Pew Research Center study found that 65% of introverts value meaningful family time more than socializing with acquaintances. Introverts tend to excel in one on one or small group interactions where they can connect on a more deep level without the chaos of larger family events. For instance, imagine an introvert at a family reunion while everyone's at the food table discussing everything at once. They're in a corner having a heartfelt conversation with grandma or grandpa about their favorite books. I don't have to imagine. That was it, definitely me. My family is large, and I found it exactly how large my family was when I decided to take on the task of creating my family tree. After that, we had family reunions, and trust and believe, I used to do everything to avoid basically getting together. Now I understand why now. Back then I didn't. Back then I just thought I was weird, but I was okay with it, right? So because I've always preferred one-on-one conversations with one person, not even a small group, because I used to always try to figure out like, okay, well, where do I fit in, right? So with the older folks or children, it was easy because it was just conversations about whether it's a family member or a book or an experience, or for me, just learning about our ancestors. So when it came to activities, I participated in some, but since I was the main planner, I chose to miss most of the larger fun. Right, I chose to basically like just skip them. The reality of it is I didn't have time, but I didn't mind, right? Because my fun was behind the scenes planning and preparing for whatever was next to come. Now, on the other hand, during the holidays, an introvert might skip the big game of charades to quietly help a younger cousin with their puzzle. These moments are where introverts truly shine because we create lasting, meaningful connections. Spending time with the little ones is always fun for me, though, right? Because there's no questions to answer. There's no, moment of awkwardness about like, what am I going to say? Is it going to come out right? It doesn't matter because they don't care. We're just basically creating our own little world right there and there. So tell me, how do you navigate family gatherings? What do you do in order to participate or disappear? Do you love to basically spend time with the older folks, or are you one to kind of like just mesh with the people that's your age? Or do you like to go sit at a kiddie table where you don't feel pressured? Let me know. Let me know in the comments. Number 3 in education, class participation anxiety. For many introverted students, being called on in class really, really feels like walking the plank. Research from the Journal of Educational Psychology shows that 50% of introverts experience anxiety about speaking up, which can affect their participation grades. Because, they used to give like class participation. Even if they've mastered the material, that class participation grade, it was a nightmare. Many introverts process their thoughts deeply and need time to articulate them, making spontaneous participation a challenge. Alternatives like written responses or smaller group discussions can help introverted students showcase their understanding. So think about an introverted student who knows the answer to the teacher's question, but freezes when they're called on. It happens all the time. It just happens. They spend the rest of the day mentally replaying how they could have answered that question. Let me know how you navigate situations like this. Like, have you been there? I know you have. Tell me. Tell me in the comments. Now, on the other hand, picture a written assignment or solo project. That same student that froze delivers an essay so insightful that the teacher wonders, are they secretly teaching this class? Deep work always wins for introverts, hands down. Number 4 in social relationships, conflict resolution. Introverts handle conflict with a different strategy. No loud arguments or dramatic blowouts here. A study in psychological science found that introverts are 30% more likely to avoid direct confrontation, instead resolving disputes through careful reflection or indirect communication. Introverts are masters of the thoughtful text message apology or the I thought about it and here's what I feel. conversation. It's not avoidance, it's a strategy. For example, imagine two friends arguing. The introvert doesn't jump into a heated debate. Why? That's energy wasted. Instead, they take time to reflect and later send a thoughtful message to clear the air. Conflict? Resolved. Another example is an introverted coworker who navigates office drama by quietly documenting everything, then presenting their perspective in a well-crafted email. No shouting match, just calm, collected professionalism. To protect my peace, I like to say that I am allergic to drama, so I avoid conflict at all costs. Sometimes it can also be me walking away. I tend to internalize over addressing situations. I'm working on it. Conflicts are inevitable. How do you manage them? Let me know below in the comments. Like, do you internalize like I do, or do you like manage it right away? The next and final topic, mental health and well being, sensitivity to criticism. Introverts and criticism, it cuts very deep. Research in the Journal of Clinical Psychology reveals that 70% of introverts are more affected by criticism than extroverts, which can impact their self esteem and mental health. Introverts often internalize feedback, replaying it in their minds long after the conversations. And how many of y'all out there still think about something that happened 5 years ago, or even in kindergarten? While this makes them receptive to growth, it also means criticism should be delivered thoughtfully to avoid discouraging them. Imagine this: an introvert gets feedback like, your presentation wasn't engaging enough. They spend the next week analyzing every single slide, their tone and gesture, vowing to never, ever, ever use a pie chart again. They even consider disappearing, speaking from experience. But when they receive constructive criticism like, your analysis was strong, next time try adding some more visuals. They not only improve, but deliver a killer presentation the next time. You see, kindness makes all the difference. It isn't what is being said, but how. Basically, treat people the way that you would like to be treated. Proverbs 15, verse 1 says, a soft tone turns away wrath. So, a soft and gentle and thoughtful answer turns away wrath, but harsh and painful and careless words stir up anger. Be kind. How do you deal with criticism? Are you one to just, like just take it and roll with the punches? Or are you like me, like you want to disappear sometimes? It's a thing, I'm working on it. Let me know down in the comments. Thank you for watching this week's episode of Introvert Insights. If you found this video helpful or relatable, please give it a thumbs up. Share it with someone who might enjoy it. Don't be selfish. Share it, please. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so already. And if you haven't, why not? Please subscribe to my channel. Also, let's connect on Instagram at I am the Introvert Whisperer, where I share some daily messages, some videos. I share stuff. And if you're ready to dive deeper into understanding yourself as an introvert, or if you're someone who's curious and would like to know better understand our personality type, please check out my book, Unlocking the Introvert, a pocket guide to understanding and interacting with introverts. I'm hoping that you can see it. I see a glare. Anyway, it's filled with practical insights to help introverts embrace their strengths and thrive. So let's keep building a world that celebrates introverts and their quiet strengths, one insight at a time. Thank you, and I will see you in the next one.